Welcome to Discipleship Hoops Podcast, where basketball meets purpose. This isn't just about mastering skills on the court, it's about developing the complete athlete. We're here to help young players grow stronger, smarter, and more skilled while deepening their character and strengthening their faith. At Discipleship Hoops, we believe basketball is more than a game. It's a platform for transformation, teaching discipline, teamwork, and resilience. Together, let's empower the next generation of leaders to excel both on and off the court. This is Discipleship Hoops through basketball.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to the latest edition of episode of the Discipleship Hoops podcast. I'm here today with a Mississippi legend. Really need no introduction. I mean, just seeing him, you already know what the business is when you see him. I'm here today with Coach Fitzgerald, Piney Woods. Coach, welcome. Thank you. I truly appreciate you taking your time out and joining me for a few minutes today.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
So before we jump right into it, let me just, for whatever reason, those that's been hiding out in Alaska that don't know anything about, don't know, or you probably coached there at some point in your career.
Right.
You probably at least went through Alaska at some point.
Right.
But Coach Fitzgerald is, so just go talk about his coaching experience, all right? So we're not going to talk about the two championships only championships you brought to Piney Woods, state championships.
We got four. I brought two of them. That's right.
Right. So you've over 20 years of coaching. You coached at Chicago Public Schools, where you actually had the opportunity to school Anthony Davis a couple times. IMG Academy, Iona College. You've been director of basketball operations. You've been at Jones College. You've been assistant coach at Hines Community College.
I was the head at Hines, right. Assistant at Jones.
Right, assistant at Jones, head at Hines,
right.
where also you was the MACC Coach of the Year.
Right.
Right. And also, and you just around here, the basketball community, you're known for just building players, right? Taking players from where they are and then creating them in something that even they couldn't even imagine that they could be. And now here you are, played at Piney Woods. Now you're back at athletic director of Piney Woods. How does that feel and what does that mean to you?
It means the world to me. Feeling-wise, it was a calling. College was great. I enjoyed my 4 years at Hines. I just felt like I needed to do more to impact more students, more student athletes across the country. And Hines had me kind of pigeonholed where it was just those 18 guys I was dealing with,
right.
Not really the school. Here back at Piney Woods, of course, it's a home for me.
Right.
I'm able to deal with the whole student body.
Yeah.
So it's influencing the younger generations to give them the knowledge and the expertise that they need to go out here in the world, whether it be boy, girl, basketball, volleyball, track and field, or non-sports at all.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity to actually impact more students.
Yeah, Piney Woods is a very unique place. I mean, you may not know this, but I worked here. I coached here for a little bit.
No, I did not know that.
My sister, my sister, Amanda
Johnson?
Lucas.
Yes, I do.
Here.
Yes, she did.
Well, she graduated from Piney Woods, and then
That's
also she worked here. We're doing the tenure of her working here. I coached here as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And who knows where I was at that time.
Yeah, so Piney Woods is deeply rooted in my family. My family values is where, after I was down in Crystal Springs High School, then I came here for a little while. And so even back then, Piney Woods was looked at as like a boarding school.
Yes.
Like the school where Mississippi, JPS sent all their bad kids.
That's right.
And people not knowing that some of the most brilliant, intelligent kids in the world
come out of here.
Yeah, come out of here.
The misconception has been, and I think it led with parents saying, okay, you keep acting up, I'm going to send you to Piney Woods.
Right.
So they thought it was for the bad kids, but in actuality, it was for structure.
Right.
Because I came to Piney Woods because my mom and dad were not together anymore, and it was hard for her to raise four kids as a single mom in one household. And you talking about public school system, it wasn't a lot of accountability after 3 o'clock.
Right,
so it was like, by the time she gets home, I'm back in the house, but I probably gotten all types of stuff because it's just that freedom and not having the supervision. My older sister was there, but it wasn't the same as having a parent in the household. And so coming here, it allowed me to get focused on something. Yeah. And so I was kind of all over the place before, and it was 7th grade when I came. And it gave me the foundation that I still use today of structure, discipline, and being able to use it in my craft as well.
Yeah, so that's why I want to go there. The structure that you've gotten here as a student, right? How has that structure influenced you now back here coaching?
That's the biggest impact that I've ever had because it gave me a sense of time management. Also, just finishing things you start. For me, everything that I've kind of been involved in with my career has kind of been good, or whatever you want to call it. I try not to boast and brag on the stuff that we were able to do because it's all God driven. But like the structure is second to none. Like I get up in the morning, every morning I have an internal clock. Whether my alarm clock goes off or not now. If I hit snooze and go back to sleep, it's something different. But that's grown. But at the same time, I make sure I'm detailed and organized. I have a to-do list on my phone every day that I check, and I'm deleting things that I've done and adding things that I need to do. So it's just understanding the time management piece, which is big. It helped me in college as well. And so now just giving that to these kids now has just been tremendous.
Yeah, I would imagine then like you've coached at high levels. Like everywhere you've coached, it was a high level coaching job, right? I mean, even like Chicago, right? Like I read a story about Patrick Beverly. How he averaged 37 points in Chicago, but he's a defensive specialist.
That's right.
So that's just how high level basketball
Exactly.
was. You know, IMG, right, and all the different places being coach of the year, right? You've coached some high level players, so has that philosophy influence your coaching style, or did you adopt something completely different when you got here?
Both. So I had to learn how to coach. So I did, when I was in Chicago, I was with a guy named Lauren Jackson. Lauren took me under his wing for 5 years straight. We sat in his apartment or his house, and we were in front of that screen, and he was teaching me how to teach the game. I knew how to play it, but teaching it was different, and relaying the things that are important to the kids. That was a different ball game for me. So I sat with him for 5 years straight, and people don't know, like I've been a junior varsity coach, high school coach, post-grad coach, head coach at the high school level, junior college level, assistant at the D1. Like I take something from everybody. So like for me, going to New York, people are like, man, you going to New York? Yes, because I want to see what this guy is doing because he's winning. I got to go see how he's winning at the Division I level, just in case one day I'm in that position. And lo and behold, 8 months later, I had my head coaching job in college. My first and only head coaching job in college at Hines. And I took some of his philosophy, Coach Neal's philosophy from here, which is my coach at Piney Woods, Lawrence, Coach Jackson, some of his philosophy, and then guys that I work with along the way. I take some stuff and then I leave some stuff too.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I hear it all the time about how, that saying, faith without works, right? And we never know why we're doing the work and when it's going to be useful, right? Like you deal with a lot of kids, and it's the microwave generation. Right? They don't want anything baked in the oven. They want to put it in the microwave and get it in 2 to 3 minutes.
That's funny.
Right?
I just literally used this analogy in the prayer huddle just now while you were setting up. I just told them because the kids expect to be good tomorrow.
Exactly right.
Oh, we worked on this today. I'm gonna be able to do it tomorrow. No, you're not. Like, come on, dude. Like, you have to work on it. You have to fail. You have to fail over and over again until you find out what to do to be successful. The only way to find out is to fail.
Oh, definitely.
It's rare. I never forget my AD at Hines told me my first year. He was like, what are you planning on doing? I said, winning. And he said, slow down. Be careful on how you jump out the gate because then you have to repeat that. I said, Coach, trust me. I understand. But it's the work that people. I don't substitute steps. Like people will wonder, well, how'd you get the kid from Chicago? Well, I fostered a relationship a long time ago, and I've stayed the same with working. I don't stop working. Like I don't stop. My phone rings all the time. I had to put it on silent. Now I put my text messages on silent because I'm always getting a call from a coach, a call from somebody that I need your help. And then I place a lot of kids that people don't know. I'm behind the scenes placing kids in college in a lot of places. So it's just, the work never stops for me.
And you said something there I want to go back to about, the failures, right? And a lot of times, when I train kids, our message is I need to get it put on a T-shirt. Don't cheat the drill.
That's right.
Right?
You can't.
Right. And what kids do is that, if the drill to use your left hand, or after they miss a couple times and see their friends making it a couple times, they automatically resort back to their right. Right. And I'm like, no, that's why you here, right? It's to get all the misses out the way.
That's right.
And because it's a process, right? You gotta trust the process. You gotta keep working. And so now that you're back here at Piney Woods, what vision do you have for Piney Woods sports as a whole?
My vision is large. I'm one of those I call it Starships and Rockets guys.
That's right.
So I'd rather this. Right. I want to turn Piney Woods into a junior college.
Okay.
And even a 4-year school after about 20 years because we used to be a junior college back in the day. Right. I added the postgraduate program to kind of get our feet wet with the athletic side of it. Right. But the biggest thing for me is just being able to have this place back at 350 kids, where kids were popping out of here doing robotics, the choir, agriculture, 4-H club, basketball, soccer, track and field. I want to be able to build this back to when I was here. We had all those things going on. People were not just leaving out here with sports. Right. They were leaving out here with skill sets. They call them trades now. Right. But I worked on the farm when I was here. Right. Like I had to handle my own pigs, like horses and cows, and being able to do some things that I never thought coming from Atlanta that I would ever see. Right. So like my thing is now I want to turn this place into where it looks like a full, well-oiled machine that it never goes back the way that it was.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that, man. I like our saying is if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming.
You're not dreaming, man. You're not dreaming at all. You're taking naps, bro.
Right, exactly.
You gotta go to sleep, man, to get a real dream.
Exactly. All right. So with that being said, outside of finances, obviously that's everyone's biggest hurdle. What's been some of your biggest challenges?
Man, people don't move as fast as I do. Yeah. My brain is like on overdrive at all times. That's some of why I don't sleep. They figured out, I guess. Right. But like for me, I dream so big and I'm ready to roll. So I have all my stuff already saved in emails that I've been thinking of these things 20 years ago. Right. When I first got into the business, I started typing up ideas. Right. And it's crazy because now I just have to change the name of who I did it for and put Piney Woods on it and submit it. And it's like not getting it done then frustrates me sometimes because I'm ready to go at all times.
Exactly. And so is that what motivates you, or is it something else that's underlining that motivates you to wake up every day?
My kids. I do this, and I say my kids as the ones that I do have. I have 3. 27-year-old assistant coach Jordan Whittington is assistant coach at East Central Community College. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Ari, and then I have a 6-year-old daughter, Nova. I want to be able to leave a legacy where they can walk in rooms and they're taken care of from what I've done for people in the past. Like that's the biggest thing, is to leave that for my kids to say, hey, look, your dad took care of me. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure you're straight. And that's what motivates me more. And then the kids that I come into contact with that are on my teams or in these schools or that reach out to me, period. Like anybody can tell you who's been recruited by myself. My number hadn't changed since I got a cell phone. I help kids that don't even play for me. So like my biggest motivator is just helping kids. I was helped, but I wasn't helped enough. I got put in some adverse situations that I couldn't get myself out of, my own self. And I think some people turn their back on me. For me, I don't turn my back on the kids. Like, I don't care if you can play or can't. My number's the same. You can call me for anything.
Yeah, that's big because nowadays with the AAU, almost being a yearly thing, it's no more summer thing. It's a lot of coaches out there that just use kids up.
Yes.
And so to have a pure heart and just truly, like I say all the time, my gifts make room for me, right? God pays my bills, right?
That's right.
So I don't need a kid to pay my light bill.
Exactly, man. That's crazy because like when I worked with Anthony Davis, crazy thing was people get it misconstrued. AD's father and I were good friends. And it just so happened his son was no more playing in the country at the time, but we kicked it a lot. And so like with me, I was always one of those guys that said, hey, look, they come at me for everything. They offer me houses, cars. I'm still staying in an apartment right now. I didn't take anything. I've never taken a gift for a kid, like not once. I think somebody might have gave me some honey buns one time because I used to love honey buns. I still love honey buns. I'm older now. I can't eat them. Right. And so like that was the most I asked for, and it was funny because he was like, "Wait a minute, you just sent me 2 players and you want some honey buns?" I said, "Yeah, a year's supply." And that was when I was eating them. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Dude, that's weird." I was like, "Hey man, I don't want whatever the kid works for. Give it to them. They put the work in." Honestly, I just gave them confidence and to believe in themselves. That's the biggest thing. Like we work in the gym as you see it today. We work, yes, but the biggest thing about basketball, Lindsey Hunter taught me. He said, I asked him one day, he came home from the league, we playing in the summer. Like, Lynn, like, what's the difference? He said, Seth, is only confidence. I said, dude, these people 6'8", 6'9", 7 feet. What are you talking about confidence? He said, if you believe that is going in, it'll go in
Right.
if you put the work in.
Right,
but you
right.
got to work.
Yep.
And I got a lot of life lessons from Lindsay, man, and it was tremendous on how I was blessed with the people that were around me to teach me some things.
Yeah, it's kids, these days they look at me like, man, you crazy when I tell them it's only 15% skill.
That's
The
it.
rest is confidence.
Yeah, mental. Like,
That's right.
that's
The
the
rest
thing.
is
Like,
mental, man. Yep.
I was like people. I'm listed at 6'2" on paper. I don't know if I ever made it to 6'2", whatever.
Right.
I was listed at 180 on paper. I just got to 195 at like
Right.
40.
Right.
So I was playing probably at 6 foot 155.
Right.
Nobody knew,
Yep.
but I played so much bigger because I just believed in myself,
Right.
my ability, my work. So, like I tell my kids now, how you afraid? How you nervous? The game hadn't changed. The rim's the same height.
Exactly.
The ball's the same circumference. The lines have not moved.
Yep.
I just need to get to my spot. When I get up, it's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, believe it's gonna go in, regardless if you miss them or not. So.
Yep, that's good. You mentioned a while back post grad,
Hmm.
and I see you posting a lot about your post grad camps and athletics and all that. What exactly is a post grad?
So it's a kid that graduated high school and they have a gap year
Okay.
in between high school and going to college.
Okay.
People have been using gap years since the 50s,
Right.
which is crazy. If you go look it up on Wikipedia,
Right.
it shows that they were using it for academic reasons, agricultural reasons. People that worked on their, like the family had a farm, they would work on the farm and then go to college after that.
Yep.
So it's been what we did was in sports, we added it for sports.
Okay.
So now you can graduate high school, you get an extra year, so you get to play against junior colleges throughout the year. We play other prep schools. I do a JUCO Jamboree here in Jackson in October,
Okay.
October 18th and 19th. Come out and see some of your friends.
Where's that at?
At the NBA
Okay.
complex, you're gonna see everything around. It's gonna be posted about it. So, and your friends will tell you. It's my third year doing it, and it's just for exposure. And basically, people use postgrad for multitudes of reasons. Lack of exposure in high school. People got injured
Right.
in high school, weren't able to finish their senior years. Just wanting more to become more skilled, or a sense of being prepared to go to college instead of going right into college, because Piney Woods sets you up like a college prep.
Right.
So just those opportunities for the kids, and it gives. I brought it for Mississippi. Not a lot of people take advantage of it from Mississippi because of the junior college system here.
Yeah.
And I'm one to tell you that this program costs. So if you have a free scholarship, take that free. Don't pass it up, because a lot of times we pass up free for me, is what I call it. Oh, I want something bigger. I want something bigger. Okay, Mr. I.
Right.
We'll see how long that lasts. You know what I'm saying? Because the business has changed so much.
Yeah.
Post-grad is there for those guys that don't get recruited like they would want to, and they want to give themselves another opportunity.
And so you mentioned that that's a part of your, you're going into junior college, making Piney Woods a junior college. So kids that take advantage of that, do they actually stay here on campus,
Yes.
or they go home and come back?
Oh, you stay here on campus. Everybody that's here on campus stays on campus.
Okay.
You're allowed to leave on the weekends.
Yeah.
Of course, you're allowed if your parent needs to come pick you up, or somebody on your leave authorization needs to come pick you up to take you to go do some things.
Right.
Family-wise, we allow that. But we expect all of our students to be here at least Monday through Friday. Well, Sunday night through Friday.
Okay, including the postgrads.
Including the postgrads, yes.
Okay. All right. So, you saw through your resume, you're deeply rooted in Mississippi basketball.
Right.
Like deeply rooted, right? North to south, east to west, right?
Yeah.
Number one, what has been the biggest change that you've seen over the years, and where do you see the state of Mississippi basketball right now?
Division.
Division. Okay.
The biggest thing that I've seen when I got back, the first thing I noticed was there was so many people trying to do the same things.
Yeah.
And you only have so many kids.
Right.
Like you can't. Why aren't we together?
Right. Yeah.
Where's the unity? Because when I
That's
left,
good. Yep.
I was working with the Panthers with Chokwe Lumumba, the dad, rest in peace. There were the Jackson Tigers. There was a couple of other organizations that I was like, okay, but it wasn't 20.
Right.
It wasn't 30. It wasn't everybody has a team.
Right.
And what has happened is we've become divided.
Yeah.
And now people have formulated their own opinions about others. Don't even know the people.
Don't even know, right.
I get so much. Oh, he's this, or he wants this, or he's only doing it for that.
Right.
They don't know who I am and where I come from and where I've been and where I'm trying to go.
Right.
And it's like, that's why a lot of times people are like, why you don't help everybody? Well, I got myself in pickles trying to help everybody because they have an expectation of me.
Right.
When in actuality, your production might not match that expectation. And then when I tell you the truth, because my problem is I don't have a filter.
Right.
They're like, how you gonna say that about me? Is it not the truth?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? You want me to lie to you?
Right.
Not the person that's gonna lie to you. I'll lie for you before I lie to you.
Yeah.
And if I lie for you, you owe me.
Yeah.
Not in cash. Some kind of way you're gonna have to pay it back.
Are you ready to take your child's game to the next level? You gotta check in with Discipleship Hoops. We offer individualized basketball training designed to help your young athletes not only master their craft on the court, but also to build discipline, confidence, and faith. Whether they need work improving their shot, sharpening their ball handling skills, or elevating their basketball IQ, we do it all in our tailored sessions that are designed to help your player grow not only as a player, but as a leader. Don't wait. Don't delay. Start your journey today. Visit j5solutions.com/discipleship hoops. That's j5solutions.com/discipleship hoops. Let's build their game and their future one step at a time. That's j5solutions.com/discipleship hoops. That's j5solutions.com/discipleship hoops. We can't wait to get you on the court.
And I don't know if it's gonna be work for free,
Right.
or whatever it might be. I just put you in a position to where I'm gonna be honest with you and make sure. But Mississippi, the division that I walked into, is now kind of subsided because the SIP United was created, the Puma deal, which is bringing us back together a little bit more.
Right.
I think people here have to embrace what we're doing, because we're not doing it for our own personal gain.
Right.
It's for the exposure of the young men.
Yeah.
And if we create young ladies, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Eric Vaughn and Eddie Young and Robert Williams, those guys are doing good. And Wesco down in Hattiesburg Law, they're doing a great job with the girls. So, I mean, I would love to see the state be able to come together in unison to be able to put the product out here that we know we can. Because they went on a circuit last weekend, and guys like, this talent was in Mississippi? Yes. Why we didn't know? Because we're so fractioned.
Right, exactly.
I was working out of town. There was other people working out of town that, you know, I steered some kids here, because it just wasn't what we were looking for here in the state. And now you look up now, you put the talent together, we look like a machine. Like out there on the circuit right now, I think the 17s are like 12-1, 16s are like 14, 15-3, something like that. And 15s, I think they've only lost one game. They might be, 13, 14-1 as well. So you look out on that circuit, and we're, representing pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I was talking to Darius Rice, and one thing he mentioned that he's found is that expectations of parents, right? Parents think that their 10-year-old there's an NBA scout in the stands ready to sign them,
Right.
And the 10-year-old still can't even dribble and run at the same time.
That's right. That's right. And
Right.
I think a lot of that has become, we've opened up the game to everybody.
Yes, yeah.
Like at one point in time, everybody couldn't play.
Right.
Like, and when I say couldn't play, you weren't allowed.
Right, exactly.
Because it was a pecking order. And then when we came about, and I'm older, so I'm 47, be 48 this year. When we came about, it was a pecking order, and we respected it.
Right.
Nowadays, you get the parents that say, oh, my kid played against such and such, he had 20. Yeah, but such and such doesn't play defense.
Right.
Did you know that? He's a top kid in the country, but he doesn't guard a soul.
Right,
So,
right,
of course you're going to get 20. He had 40. You know what I'm saying? So what are we talking about?
Right.
The coaches came, your son was there,
Right.
he was there. All the coaches were there, but the coaches are there to see him.
Exactly right.
It's true that sometimes people earn scholarships by being in the same gym and being in the same building. They do have a performance, but the thing you have to understand, colleges are putting in place, those head coaches are saying, hey, go see such and such.
Right.
Don't come back here talking about anybody else.
Right.
I want to know what happened with such and such. Now, if you go find a 6'11" or a 7-footer, you come out, hey, coach, I found something else. You know what I'm saying? Now we talking. But if you talking about somebody that they not recruiting already, they not down the line with it, because it's relationship building when you're recruiting a kid.
Yeah.
You're not going to start all the way over again,
Right.
and you're already down the line with this kid.
Right,
So,
right.
And I think a lot of times, too, people are not satisfied with being themselves. Like, be who you are.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Right.
If you are made for Bellhaven, go to Bellhaven.
Right.
If it's Millsaps, go to Millsaps.
Right.
If Tougaloo, go to Tougaloo. I went to Tougaloo. Nah, I messed up a lot of my scholarships that I had Division I wise, but when I got to Tougaloo, I thought it was gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Because everybody has been recruited as the best player that they can find to play against each other. So I think the biggest thing nowadays, what I've seen is parents have an expectation of the NBA instead of just being a parent.
Yeah.
Just love on your kid. Man. Whatever he does or does not do, love him, her. Like, stop pushing this pressure of, we got to make it.
Right.
Go to work, parent. Make it. Then put the kid in a situation where he understands hard work, discipline, and integrity, and then at the end of it, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's true. You said you drop a lot of good gems there. I believe that one of the misconceptions is that, AAU basketball doesn't always translate to high school basketball. Right. At times it could be a different game. Now, if you're a stud and you averaging 20 in high school, then that translates. Right. But you have to learn to play in the confines of a team. A lot of times AAU is just you running up and down, jacking on threes. Like why the Celtics lost last night, right? They missed 45 threes, right?
That's what the NBA wants anyway.
Right. They running down and jacking up threes, and a lot of times your AAU coach may give you the green light, but your high school coach may have a different structure. You may not be the focal point. You may be a shooting guard, but it may be a 6'8". You know what I'm saying? That's the focal point. So talk through that transition to kids that are watching and they're like, I play on the AAU, why I can't get in the game at my high school?
Well, if you're playing for AAU and you can't get in the game in high school, get off the AAU team. Yeah. Honestly. What I say is a lot of times we're expecting, like I said before, if I do this, I'm going to get that. Right. There is no guarantee for getting that. Right. At the end of the day, if you're on an AAU team that they're not structured, get off that team too. Because in college you have to play in structure, and in the circuit league games, you have to learn to play with other guys because everybody's talented, the best from where they're from. Exactly. So they're made to have to play team basketball. You see that ball moving on the circuit I'm on now. I was on a Nike circuit. This is my first time on another circuit other than Nike, and I'm getting used to it. But the players are the same. They're moving the basketball. You don't see a lot of one guy taking a bunch of shots and everybody else just standing around because at the end of the day, college coaches don't like to see that. And when it comes to translating to high school, I think it's just where you go play. And for that point, high school as well, because I've seen vice versa where the kid's playing on his high school team, but when you look up, he's not playing or he plays differently on his AAU team. And it's just about sometimes giving the kid confidence. Sometimes he does have a little bit more of a free reign. And sometimes it's putting him in the right position. Like you were saying, you playing your actual natural position to be good. And the biggest thing that I would love to kill is AAU coaches and high school coaches can't get along. Because, you go over there with that AAU coach and you come back here with bad habits. No. He came to us with bad habits. You just didn't notice him until he came back. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the truth. We only have the kids for a few months. We barely get to practice. So whatever he came with, that's what we're working with, truthfully. Now we're trying to teach him how to play the right way and trying to do the right things. But think about it, if you take a number one kid off of a high school team, we bring him to our team. We're trying to teach him to play team basketball. It's hard because you've been the man and jacking up any shot you want. And we're trying to tell you, hey, don't do that out here. The coach over there, man, he's watching, bro. Like, don't do that.
It's okay to want more.
Yes, like that's the right play because they want to see what you are going to do when you get to their level because you have to play with the rest of the 14 guys that is on that roster.
I heard a coach, a Stanford coach, she said, a women's Stanford coach, I heard her say about recruiting. And she said that she goes and watches kids when they're up 20 and when they're down 20. And she said she watches their character, she watches their body language, she watches their interaction with the bench in those two categories. And then that's when she decides to go check stats.
Exactly. Because what you want, character is big. If you get a cancer in your locker room, it's just like in your body, it's going to eat away at your team. And I just told somebody this weekend, I said, once your locker room is divided, there's no getting it back. So you don't want those kids that'll be selfish, that doesn't understand how to play a team sport and how to be character-wise off the floor. And when I say off the floor, I'm like immediately off the floor on the bench. Sit up, give your friends daps when they come off, stand up when a positive play. Any of those things are positivity. We're such a negative world. Everything is, oh, no, oh, I don't like him, oh, I don't. Why?
Why? Exactly. What has he done?
I asked a couple kids, are y'all beefing? They're like, I don't like him. I said, why?
Right.
What happened?
Right.
And the kid stopped and he looked at me and said, I don't know. I said, it's stupid. Like, why are you mad at another human
Right.
and you have no reason?
Right, exactly.
But it's that whole hate,
Yeah.
negative.
Right.
I got to down him because, for whatever reason, it could be because some jealousy has crept in there. It could be because you want to do what he's been doing, or
Right.
I had the idea and I didn't do it, he did.
Right.
Hey man, just be supportive of the people that's trying to help. And if
Yeah.
you got I call them colleagues or peers, man, y'all guys don't have to hate each other now. If it's a legitimate reason, okay,
Right.
I get it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
It can happen, but
Right.
when we're talking about, kumbaya,
Right.
I'd rather see us get along than not.
Exactly. All right. So, before we get out of here, you touched on players. There's two more things I would like for you to touch on. You say your son coaches right now. So, you've been a parent that's been through it, right?
Right.
And you've also, been a coach that's been through it. So, to parents, you alluded to it a little while ago, right? What would be your advice to those parents sitting in the stands? To just, again, trusting the process, right? Or being honest with yourself, right? And then secondly, for coaches out there that's like, man, I just can't get it off the ground. I've been trying, won't nobody support me. I don't have the resources, I don't have the funding. What would your advice for them be to keep going?
Parents, this has been an old adage. I've been coaching now, I'm going on 21.
Yep.
I don't come to the doctor's office and tell you how to do your surgery. I'm not going to come to the engineering department at your job and tell you how to build this bridge.
Right.
So how you going to come tell me in 20, 21 years how I should be doing anything in my craft?
Right.
Then the other thing about that is embarrassing for the child.
Yep.
Be a parent.
Right.
Talk about schoolwork. Talk about after basketball. Talk about other careers. Talk about other things if this doesn't work or that doesn't work. If this goes like this, instead of trying to tell them what you don't know.
Right.
Because when you're telling them what you don't know, what happens with the kid, he's confused.
Yep.
Because he's going to listen to his parents first, but the coach is saying, do this.
Right.
Well, I want you to go out there and do that. Okay. Well, somebody's going to crash. Who loses? The child.
The child. Yep.
The parent doesn't lose.
Right.
Parents going to keep their job, keep going on.
Right.
Coach doesn't really lose
Right.
because I can go find another player. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The kid in the moment loses because you set him up for a situation that's not how you do it at your job.
Right.
If he has a real job, if his boss tells him to do this and that's his job, you can't creep into Johnny's job over here and try to do his job. Boss gonna come down on you.
Right, exactly.
So don't set them up for that. And that's just the biggest thing. I just got through telling some parents. I got a kid at North Georgia, D2, and he and his dad got into it when he sent him to me. Because my thing was, hey, take him back home.
Right.
Well, why? Because you keep talking to him. Well, that's my son. Yeah, talk to him about dad's son stuff, not basketball, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And you're ruining the kid.
Right.
I told the kid, here, my post, get out,
Right.
go home. Kid called his dad, ended up calling me back. Coach, I'm not going anywhere. I just talked to him. I told him to stay out of it. So I got back on with the parent. I said, hey, just be a dad, dude.
Right.
Like, stop. Like, you're messing up the child. So now you look up, he's over 1,500 points in North Georgia in 3 years.
Yeah.
He was just in the transfer portal. He called me. I said, well, if it's me, I got 1,500 points in 3 years. I'm going back to get the record.
Right.
Where now I'm the best player ever in the history of North Georgia. When I get through playing basketball, I can get a job there.
Exactly.
In admissions.
Right.
In the cabinet. I don't have to go as a coach anymore.
Right.
You put yourself in position now. You're the one.
Yeah.
For that, now you get your degree in the right thing.
Yeah.
You can come back and run the yard. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
good.
thing that I'm telling people. Like it's not all about bouncing the ball the whole time. And to the coaches, man, stop looking for help from humans. God
Amen. Yeah.
is going to give
Amen.
you
Yep.
what you need
Right.
to be successful.
Right.
Now, there are going to be times that he's going to test you
Oh yeah, definitely.
to see if this is what you want to do.
Right.
So he's going to start you off with meager,
Yep.
little or none,
Right.
to see if this is what you really want to do. As you keep, I started off at the bottom,
Yeah.
at the JV level of high school.
Right.
That's how I started off. Like, if you're telling me that I can start from there and become an athletic director, and I only have my bachelor's degree in psychology.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the degree for
Right.
sports administration. I don't. But now I go to 5 years. I have the experience to where I trump the degree.
Yep.
I never imagined being in this position. I never imagined being a head coach in college.
Yeah.
Coach of the year, coaching All-Americans. That wasn't the vision. The vision I set out with was to help kids. If you set out with a vision where you're trying to help yourself, it's never going to go that way. Only person you're going to be able to help is yourself.
Right.
And in this business, it has to be selfless. I just got through reading a book, Servant Leadership. And it was about just being selfless and less selfish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're leading with your own agenda, it's going to go wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to get frustrated too, because when your agenda doesn't work,
Right.
now you're peeved off and you're ready to quit.
Right.
Instead of saying doing it for the right reasons, which they can say what they want to about me. When I go home and say my prayers, or when I get up in the morning and say, Lord knows what he sent me here for. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, Coach, and I truly appreciate your time. So I always have to end with this last question. All right, it's one question, one answer. Jordan or LeBron?
Gosh, enjoy. Can I expound?
Okay, yes, absolutely.
I'm a Jordan kid. That's my era. He's the best in my era.
Right.
I have to clarify to everybody when I say that, because the other thing is I went and watched LeBron for myself with my own 2 eyes, about 7 rows from the floor.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen 6'9", fast, athletic,
Right.
IQ, shoot it, dribble it, pass it. Closest thing I saw was Magic, and he trumped Magic a long time ago.
Yeah.
LeBron is he's a generational talent.
Right, definitely.
We might not see Michael or LeBron again.
Right.
Anthony Edwards is darn good,
Yeah.
but he's not going to be LeBron.
Yeah,
He's
Kobe
not gonna
was
be
almost.
Kobe was there, you know what I'm saying? But it's still, those two guys were sprinkled with a little something different that made them who they are. LeBron is a kid, a young man. Oh, wait a minute, he's a man. I'm not that old. But he's a man that pulled his stuff up from the bootstraps too. He came from really meager means. And look what he's done. You know, he's the only athlete that I know that has no blemish.
Exactly.
Barry Bonds, steroids. They took away all the. Barry Bonds was the best player before steroids.
Right.
Steroids didn't do nothing but keep him to play 160 games.
Right.
Mark McGwire. They were good before when they were skinny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's blemishes there. Michael Jordan, he had some blemishes. LeBron is the only one that we've seen that has really lived and done it the right way that we know of. Now, whether you pay off the right people to keep it on the low, you still figured it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he's a guy that I saw put his people on. That's what I loved about him, was his high school teammates. They're still locked in to where he's put them in positions of success. I'm not going to even call it power. It's just, hey, here's something that you can go to and do yourself and rock out. So that's what I love about. But Mike is always be my favorite.
I mean, I grew up on the '94 watching playoffs in silent because I didn't want my mom to hear the TV.
That's right.
On.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Trying to catch Mike doing this thing. So people get mad at me all the time when I say, you're right, Michael Jordan is the GOAT of the 90s.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
That's right. That's right. And guess what? And I'm gonna go further than that. If he would have played in the '80s era, which he did some of, Magic and Larry said it best. It's new sheriff in time. And so even when you look at now, I mean, LeBron has done his thing, and he is one of the greats in our game. But Michael did a lot for the league.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
LeBron has done a lot for the league as well now, but Michael really transcended, especially contracts. People love to say KG now. Michael got $36 million in a year. He just happened to be at the tail end of it. If you give him that his rookie year or later, you're talking about a kid that after his rookie deal you give to him now, you're talking about $36 million every year. Back then, he would have broke the bank. Not KG now, but again.
And a lot of things people don't realize is that LeBron has 3 Hall of Fame careers.
Yes, like straight up, and it's like. Now, he's done some things with different teams that made it really, really hard to not say it, but at the same time, you know, I always look at the transcendent part of it, and he's done some things that have been transcending as well, so both of them are good for our league.
All right, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate the time, man. I know you got to get back to practice, so
got to get after these guys. I appreciate you, man.